we're on the subject of talking about games that they showed off for the Nintendo Switch. I keep having to stop myself from saying the NX. But what exactly does this mean for the 3DS? Because even though Nintendo has said it's not, this is obviously their next big home console. They're pushing out the Wii U. They've even made the statement that if you want a Wii U, then you need to go buy one now because they're not going to be producing them anymore. So this is obviously the successor, or what they want to be the successor to the Wii U, but the 3DS is so successful. There's like 50, 60 million units out. So it would be kind of stupid for them to just push the 3DS out of the way like they're doing with the Wii U. Especially since Pokemon is one of the biggest franchises Nintendo publishes, and it's, the best seller on their handheld market. So it would be stupid for it to immediately replace the 3DS, but I don't see them being able to keep the 3DS and still support the Nintendo Switch as they should if they're going to be making games for the 3DS in the next year or two. Basically because with the 3DS, as Ashley said earlier, games like Hyrule Warriors on the original 3DS run a lot worse than they would on the new Nintendo 3DS. And then some games can only play in 3D on the new Nintendo 3DS. And then to take it a step further, some games are only playable on the new Nintendo 3DS, like
Xenoblade.
Yeah, Xenoblade
Chronicles 3D.
So with them already having games on the new 3DS that aren't playable at all on the old Nintendo 3DS, they're obviously being held back by the hardware power. And this is something that the Nintendo Switch right now doesn't have a problem with. We're seeing games presumably somewhere between Wii U and Xbox One level running on the Nintendo Switch. So building a game and limiting yourself on what exactly you're going to be able to do, having the game run poorly on the 3DS, it kind of seems like, why would you do that if you have the option of putting it on the more powerful Nintendo Switch? And then not only do you have it as a mobile game, but you can also experience it on your big TV. So basically, I guess my question is, when do you think Nintendo is going to kill off the 3DS for the Nintendo Switch? Or do you think they're going to actually try and make both of them kind of function in the same space, where they're both this handheld experience, but obviously with the NX you also have the home console experience and the extra power to go behind it. So for example, if you wanted to make a more complex or more detailed Zelda game, but you're not necessarily able to do that on the 3DS, something like in the style of A Link Between Worlds, to where it's not a behind-the-back Zelda game like Breath of the Wild or Twilight Princess. It's the top-down 2.5D perspective, like A Link Between Worlds, Minish Cap, and A Link to the Past. If they wanted to make a game like that, but have it actually bring something new and not be held back, they would have to put it on the Nintendo Switch instead of limiting it to the 3DS. So what do you guys think of this conflict that Nintendo's made for themselves?
See, I think that the reason why that quite a lot of people have been hesitant to get the new 3DS is because it's very expensive, actually. It's only $100 short of the Wii U, and that's a console game. I mean, I haven't gotten a new 3DS yet because it's $200, and that's why I decided to get a 2DS, because it's basically the whole purpose of the 2DS was basically regular 3DS games, but for the people who don't want to empty out their pockets just to be able to play 3DS games. I think that the main thing that they should focus on if they want to keep the 3DS games up and running is lower down the price of the new 3DS just a teensy bit to basically basically incentivize consumers to maybe want to make the upgrade up to the new 3DS, because Hyrule Warriors Legends made me really consider wanting a new 3DS, because I really wanted to play Hyrule Warriors, but at the time I didn't have a Wii U. So Legends was basically, I was so happy, and now seeing it on the regular 3DS makes me very sad. So what they really should do is basically earn the consumer's trust by lowering down the price so that they can keep the 3DS games still have enough processing power to not be like Legends on the normal 3DS, and still be able to keep the 3DS lifespan going.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a good way to do that, if they wanted to support both, is like if they, like, say a month or two after the Nintendo Switch comes out, it'll be around E3 time. So if they have a 3DS announcement at E3 and they say that they're dropping the price from $180 or $200 to $120 or $150, I think that would be a good way to show that they're going to be supporting both consoles, and it also brings away the fact that, you know, like you were saying, you can go out and buy the new Nintendo 3DS for $200, or for $50 to $100 more dollars, you can just buy this brand new Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, pricing is definitely going to be a big concern for them, because they could, if they lowered the price, it would be that one last push for the 3DS. They could make as much money from the 3DS before they go all in on the Nintendo Switch. And, that's all I can think of. Do you have anything to add to this, Rick?
Nintendo came out and said that they're supporting the 3DS until, 2018?
Yeah.
Or is it the end of 2018?
I think it was the end.
Okay, so if they're supporting it, till the end of 2018, I think what they're gonna probably do is have a transitioning phase. So they'll lower the price point of the new 3DS, I'm sure, just to get sales on it. And Nintendo is notorious for doing this too. They did it with the Wii Mini. Right before the Wii U came out, or whatever, or even I can't remember exactly when they transferred over, but they tried to get that last bit of sales that they could out of the Wii right before the Wii U, and before they transferred over, and obviously they kept the name for that one. But with the 3DS, I think what they're going to try to do is make a transition to those 3DS style games coming to the Nintendo Switch as well. And then, you'll have added options on being able to play a mobile game even on your big screen TV. So if they wanted to make a Pokemon game, for instance, and wanted to keep it still the, the 3D style that they have now, or the more like 2.5, like Link Between Worlds style, and doing it that way, they still can. And on top of it, they can even pull more graphical power out of the console to make it look even more crisp. But I think it would be smarter for them to try to get those last bit of sales for the 3DS and kind of retire it. Because, even my new 3DS that I have, it struggles with some games. Frame rate dips and stuff like that is nuts. And
I think even the new Pokemon game, it doesn't even have a 3D function on...
Yeah,
they're 3DS, because
getting far away from that.
Yeah, like some games, once you turn on 3D, the frame rate drops so low that it just looks choppy.
Yeah, I do a lot of double battles, and I can tell you, playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, even in double battles, I get significant lag, and it's not my internet. I can tell you that. But I think it's time. You know, the 3DS has been around for a long time, and they've made a lot of sales out of it. But it's just like, you know, consoles that have come before it. The Game Boy was a thing for years and years and years and years. And the DS was too. But I think the Switch might just take over, to be honest. Yeah, that's my feeling on it.
Probably the best way they could make this transition, which we've seen it with how they said they're going to be supporting the 3DS alongside the Nintendo Switch. That's something every developer says. Like, the first couple of years the PlayStation 4 was out, we've seen PlayStation 3 games still being launched. We've seen Xbox 360 games still coming out while Xbox One was out, even especially with bigger franchises like Call of Duty and stuff like that. But with Nintendo specifically, we mentioned in a previous topic how a representative of Nintendo said that you won't have physical backwards compatibility, so you won't be able to put in your 3DS cartridge or your Wii U disc into your Nintendo Switch or the docking station. But they said they had basically no comment or nothing to announce yet on virtual backwards compatibility. So if they did something to where, say, the next Pokemon game, whatever it is, starts to come out, and they say that it's launching on the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch. I think if you gave the option to where you can buy it on the 3DS, or you basically get the same version but with whatever upgrade, or even if it's just a port that launches on the eShop of the Nintendo Switch, and it has that backwards compatibility to where you can play those games, kind of like how they did with Skyward Sword and Metroid on the and I think Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii U eShop, to where they were Wii games. They just launched as Wii U titles, even though they were literally the exact same experience. If they did something like that to where you could buy the next Pokemon game as a 3DS title, or if you purchased it on the eShop and suddenly you had the option to play it as like a Nintendo Switch title without the second screen experience, then maybe that would be a way to do it. And then that would give you that smooth transition to where suddenly you would have like this lineup of eShop titles that you purchased on the 3DS that now have some function on the Nintendo Switch.
And maybe that way we could finally get Xenoblade Chronicles onto a console game.
Yeah, and I mean, like anytime console. You think of like you had a great point there, Ashley. Like Xenoblade, it's one of Nintendo's best.
A stellar game.
Yeah, but like going back with the Nintendo 3DS and the Pokemon games, like a lot of the new generation of Nintendo fans, when they think of a Pokemon game, they don't think about like the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy lineup of Pokemon games. They're used to this two-screen experience that they get from Pokemon Black and White or Pokemon Sun and Moon, to where it uses both screens. But Pokemon sold maybe even better than it did now, or it didn't have any problems at all as a one-screen experience. So moving like a 3DS two-screen experience Pokemon game to a one-screen experience on the Nintendo Switch, I don't think anyone would really have a problem with that, because that's what it started out as. So it's not something that would necessarily hold the series back from what it could be, but it is something to consider. So that's all I have to say on that. Does anyone have anything to add before we move to the final topic?
Nope.
Uh-uh.
All right. But let's cross our fingers for Xenoblade.
Yes, I am keeping all fingers and toes crossed.
You guys go ahead and introduce yourself for those listening.
Okay,
Go ahead,
Rick, you
Ashley.
first.
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Rick, otherwise known as RMFH, and you guys know my whole spiel by now, I hope. But if you guys want to find any of my content, just, type in RMFH in YouTube and at RMFH Gaming on Twitter. Ashley?
Okay. Hey guys, it's Champion Ashley, and I am apparently not dead. However, I was hoping that I wasn't because my channel has been going through a drought. But hopefully, after everything that we're talking about today, I will not be in a drought. So my channel is basically all about theories and a series that I am currently working on that's called Lore of Gaming, which is basically talking about the entire central lore of a particular series.
What's up everyone, this is Jesse and welcome to the Inslate. I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you're a fan of my Zelda or gaming news, theory, or discussion videos like this, please consider supporting this channel by donating through patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can get new videos early, be able to join on discussion or theory videos, get shoutouts, and tons of other great rewards. Thank you all so much for allowing me to do this, watching my videos, and especially you Alex Myers, Jonathan, The Itch Network, and John Frank for your support on Patreon.